Being a parent is one of the most difficult things in the world. I underestimated how difficult it was. I underestimated how much time it would take. I underestimated how much I would just be craving convenience in everything that I did and craving efficiency. And it's when I realized that I think the reason I've been able to stay in such good shape throughout being a dad is because I utilize intermittent fasting. And so many people just fall victim to the convenience foods and all just easy things whenever they're new parents. So I created this video to demonstrate why intermittent fasting is perfect for parents. New parents, already existing parents, you name it. So let's go ahead and let's dive in. So make sure you hit that red button that's down there in the bottom right, that subscribe button, and then hit that little bell icon to turn on notifications so you never miss a beat. I'm not a doctor, I'm just some guy on the internet, but I lost 100 pounds and I enjoy biochemistry. After this video, do make sure you check out Thrive Market down below in the description. I did put a link there and I've created specific like hormone boxes, thyroid boxes. They're all like grocery boxes, things that I would recommend that you get at the grocery store, but you can get them through Thrive Market, which is an online membership-based grocery store. So they're a big supporter, a big sponsor of this channel. I greatly appreciate all they do for this channel. So if you want to check them out down below in the description, please do so after this video and you can get the grocery bundles that I recommend. Again, it's like going grocery shopping with me. So highly recommend it. They're super awesome, cheaper than a lot of grocery stores in many cases, and make sure you check them out after this video. So when it comes down to intermittent fasting, all that it is a period of time in which you do not eat, followed by a consolidated eating window. So basically, you're shrinking up all of your eating into one finite amount of time, okay? So a consolidated period of time, usually 7 or 8 hours, instead of being spread throughout the day. So in essence, it makes it very black and white, a period of time in which you're not eating and a period of time in which you are. So number one, focus and energy. You need it being a parent. And that focus and energy becomes much more readily available when you're fasting. And here's the evolutionary explanation as to why. When we look at evolution, it would have made sense that when we were in a time of starvation, i.e. fasting, our brains would get more energy. Why? Because our brains as humans is the main survival mechanism that we have. We don't have the brawn like a lion does or a bear does. We have brains. That's what makes us tremendous hunters. So when we are in a fasted state, we actually allocate a lot more energy to the brain. It's why so many Silicon Valley executives and tech entrepreneurs tout intermittent fasting to begin with, because they get this big cognitive boost. Well, that's tremendous for parents too. The last thing you want is to be fatigued and foggy when you're trying to A, make good parental decisions and keep a child alive, but B, also trying to make sure you don't lose track of your life too. And then when it comes down to energy, there's no denying that when your body starts shifting into utilizing fats and ketones as a fuel source, you are not going to feel more energetic. You absolutely feel amazing. Now, number two, it allows you to abstain from snacking. Kids eat a lot and they eat frequently. I don't recommend that small toddlers fast, okay? So they're constantly eating. Well, how easy is it for you to say, oh, I'm gonna get you some cereal, or I'm gonna get you, this is healthy, low carb cereal, by the way. I'm gonna give you some cereal and I'm gonna make one too. Okay, you do it all the time, you know you do. Okay, even if it's one little thing, those things add up. You have one bite here, one bite there. Next thing you know, you've got 200 calories coming in the day. Over the course of a month, you're looking at over a pound of fat that you've accumulated. Okay, definitely something that's going to happen. At least with fasting, it makes it so clear. There's no ambiguity, clear and defined. When I'm prepping my kids' lunches, when I'm prepping his snacks, I don't touch it because it's black and white. And I know that if I eat that one little piece of cereal, I'm kicked out of the fasted state and I'm going right back to square one. But on that same note, the next piece is it gives you a tremendous amount of flexibility with your diet when you are eating. I, every once in a while, want to enjoy some gluten-free mac and cheese with my toddler. Okay, I every once in a while want to enjoy some pureed baby food with my newborn. Okay, not really. But realistically, I want to have some pizza. I want to be human. Come on, I don't want to go to the grave feeling like I just sacrificed everything for a specific look in my YouTube channel, all right? So the reality is, when I'm fasting, it gives me a lot more caloric flexibility to just live life a little bit. I don't want my kid to see that I don't ever let my hair down, okay? So it allows me to have that flexibility as long, and this is very important, you break your fast with a clean source. You want to break your fast with lean, clean protein. Do not break it with junk, no matter how much you want to. Then later on in the evening, sure, then have some ice cream, have some cake, whatever. Just let your hair down. Then it's going to help regulate your circadian rhythm. We know sleep schedules change. My sleep schedule's changed. I used to be in bed at 8 p.m., 8:30 p.m., and up at 4:30 a.m. to get a workout in. I don't really have a choice but to be in bed a little bit later now. I'm feeding a newborn, or my wife's feeding a newborn, and it's making it hard for me to go to sleep. Point is, it's pushed my bedtime back. My circadian rhythm's out of whack. I'm not sleeping as good, and I know that you're not either. But the cool thing is, it's not all about how long you sleep. It's about the effectiveness of your sleep. And fasting changes, get this, the gut biome. It changes the gut biome, which, believe it or not, has a very powerful effect on our circadian rhythm. Multiple studies have demonstrated that that change in the gut biome communicates with the brain and alters circadian rhythms. It allows you to be more flexible and malleable, if you want to call it that, to different alternating changing schedules. There are times when I actually do get to sleep throughout the night. And then there's times where I'm not going to bed till midnight and getting up at 5, or there's times that the point is, it's going to help you adapt to that much faster. And there's a lot of evidence I'll put in the description below if you're a science nerd. One of my favorite things, and this is a huge one, is it allows you to get more fat burning out of a shorter workout. So if you're going to work out in your fasted period, you're going to utilize the fuel from fat much more efficiently. That means if you were to normally eat a breakfast and then go work out, well, you're going to have to burn through that breakfast first before you ever get to tap into your body fat stores. If you're fasted, you can go into the gym and almost rest assured that if you're truly in a fasted state, your body is going to start incinerating what you have stored before anything else, because that's the first thing that's available. That is much more effective. I would much rather go to the gym or go into my garage and work out for 20 minutes knowing that the 20 minutes I'm working out, I'm burning what I want to burn, rather than have to go through 30 minutes of burning through a necessary evil before I ever get to that and have to be in the gym for an hour, hour and a half looking at someone trot away on a treadmill trying to lose weight. Not the way I want to do things. Now let's talk recovery, all right? You're sleep deprived. You're probably not eating as well as you normally would. Your recovery is going to suffer. Your cortisol levels are high. Your adrenaline is pumping. Your sympathetic nervous system is just rocking, right? You're not recovering as much. So what do? Well, the nice thing is there are lots of different studies that verify that intermittent fasting, or fasting in general, increases growth hormone levels. It increases the size of the pulses. Now, I'm going to state something. There are some studies that show that there's a 2,000% increase in growth hormone. That's not the kind of science I want you to lean on. That's very abnormal. That's not what you would expect. But there are a lot of pieces of evidence that show that there's at least a modest increase in growth hormone levels. Growth hormone is going to stimulate muscle recovery. It's going to stimulate soft tissue recovery. It's going to stimulate brain regeneration, eye regeneration, all these things that are beneficial to you. When you are low on sleep, you want as much as you can get. You normally have growth hormone pulses while you're sleeping. So if you're not getting into those deep non-REM states of sleep, you're probably not producing a lot of growth hormone. So we need every little bit of help that we can get. Another thing that we notice with intermittent fasting is you have an increase in something known as adenopectin. Adenopectin is a hormone that is correlated with fat loss. Adenopectin is secreted by what's called an adipocyte, which is a fat cell. Okay, so when we see levels of adenopectin go up, it means that we're burning fat. Well, again, lots of research suggests that when we fast, we have increases in adenopectin, usually by way of what's called PGC1A, but I'm not going to go dense here. Point is, yes, we're utilizing more fat. We're in a fat burning state. It's easier to stay lean with less work. And now a big one, you become more metabolically flexible and resilient. Resiliency is what we are after. Remember, with fasting, it is all about inflicting a controlled stress on yourself. That means you are trying to get your body to adapt. Trying to get your body to adapt to being stressed. So it's in a controlled environment where your body gets stronger, makes you more resilient. It literally can make your brain more resilient. And this means that you can handle things better, both physically and mentally. But it makes you metabolically flexible. And what that means is your body becomes efficient at not just burning carbs, but burning fat. So in a situation where you need to be very dynamic, your body is efficient at utilizing two sources of fuel. This means abundant energy in multiple different categories. Trust me, this will come into play when your kids get a little bit older and you're having to break into a random sprint to make sure they don't get hit by a car in a Trader Joe's parking lot. And then, of course, there's time and meal prep. Trust me, the last thing that you want to be doing is worrying about organizing Tupperware with chicken breast and broccoli while you're concerned about your toddler flushing his newborn baby sister down the toilet. You have more important things to worry about. You should be focusing on your children, and then when it's time to eat, you can eat. You have to focus on one important meal where you're very controlled, and that is your fast-breaking meal. Other than that, kind of just on your own and fairly easy. And then a big piece that I think is so important, and I have to put on my serious face here for a second, it teaches your kids about delayed gratification. Something that I feel personally is just gone in today's society. Okay, I grew up having to learn that I had to work for something. Social media has made it so that everything is at our fingertips in a moment's, seconds, nanoseconds notice. Okay, that is not how personally I want my kids to see life, that they can just get whatever they want as soon as they snap their fingers or touch a button. Delayed gratification is great to teach children. And with fasting, that's what you're employing in your daily life. You abstain from food, and guess what? You get a reward. You get to feel good and you get to look good. And hey, you get to enjoy some food too. And if that's your reward, then that's your thing, that's cool. But it teaches delayed gratification. And I'll tell you what, your kids are gonna see that discipline and they may not say it, they may not even really show it yet, but it's gonna ingrain in their subconscious that mom and dad are awesome and mom and dad have the ability to harness discipline and be powerful people that can ultimately change the world. That's what you want your kids to be. So as always, keep it locked in here on my channel. I'll see you tomorrow.